shame the summer skies. We have hearts for them in plenty, they have hearts, but all too few. We, alas, are 4 and 20, they, alas, are only 2. We, alas, are 4 and 20, they, alas, are only 2. They, alas, are only 2. Alas, roses white and roses red. Why we bind you into roses, your morning gloom has fled. Now ye know, roses white and roses red. Roses, now ye know, roses white and
Good morrow, pretty maids, for whom prepare this floral tribute extraordinary.
For Marco and Giuseppe Palmieri, pink and floral for the gondolieri. They're coming here, as we have heard, but lately to choose 2 brides from us who sit sedately.
Do all you maidens love them? These gondoliers are to be envied greatly. But what of us, who one and all adore you? Have pity on our passion, we implore you.
These gentlemen must make their choice before you. In the meantime, we tacitly ignore you. When they have chosen 2, that leaves you plenty. 2 others away, and they are 4 and 20. Enjoy, oh dolce far niente.
With pleasure, nobody contradicente. For the merriest fellows are we. Tra-la-la-la, that ply on the emerald sea. Tra-la-la-la, with loving and laughing and quipping and quaffing, we're happy as happy can be. With loving and laughing and quipping and quaffing, we're happy as happy can be. With sorrow we've nothing to do. And care is a thing to pooh-pooh. And jealousy yellow, unfortunate fellow, we drown in the shimmering blue. And jealousy yellow, unfortunate fellow, we drown in the shimmering blue.
Come to make their choice.
Bagneri, Palazzo Bagneri, it's quite honorary the trade that we ply. For gallantry noted, since we were short-coated, to beauty devoted, Giuseppe and I. When morning is breaking, our couch is forsaking, to greet their awaking with carols we come. As summer days nooning when weary our cooling, we lazily drum. Hope ever clinging with songs of our singing a vigil we keep. When daylight is fading, and wrapped in light shading, with soft serenading, we sing them to sleep. With serenade, we sing them to sleep. We're gondolieri, gondolieri, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la-la, gondolieri, gondolieri, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la-la. Choose our brides. As all are young and fair and amiable besides, we really do not care a preference to declare. A bias to disclose would be indelicate, and therefore we propose to let impartial fate select for us a mate.
No! A bias to disclose would be indelicate.
But how do they propose to let impartial fate select for them a mate? These handkerchiefs upon our eyes be good enough to buy, and take good care that both of us are absolutely blind. Then turn us round and we, with all convenience dispatch, will undertake to marry any two of you we catch. If only undertake to marry any two of us they catch.
Are you peeping? Can you see me?
Dark and keeping, dark and dreamy.
Blind-minded, truly say so.
All right-minded players play so.
Conduct sharing, they are chasing, surely they deserve a pity. As too much is made of mocking conduct, such is truly shocking. You can spy, you can spy, you can spy, you can spy, you can he keeps 3 horses, black and white and double gristle. Turn 3 times and take your courses. Catch whichever girl you miss.
My papa, he keeps 3 horses, black and white and dapple gracer. Turn 3 times and take your courses. Catch whichever girl you miss. My papa, he keeps 3 horses, black and white and dapple gracer. I've at length achieved a capture. This is Tessa. Rapture, rapture. Rapture, rapture. To me, Janetta, fate has granted just the very girl I wanted. Just the very girl I wanted. If you'd rather change,
My goodness, this indeed is
whatever.
Listen to him! Well, I never... Thank you, gallant gondolieri, in a certain frugal measure, it is scarcely necessary to express our pleasure, each of us to prove our treasure, conjugal and monotony, gladly waiting fruit and leisure, gallant gondolieri, tra-la-la, tra-la-la-la, tra-la-la. Being gallant gondolieri, take us both and hold us tightly. You have luck extraordinary, we might have been unsightly. If we judge your conduct rightly, it was a choice involuntary. Still we thank you most politely, gay and gallant gondolieri. Tra-la-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la-la,
Oh, sorry.
Oh, would you mind? Please. Thank you. One, two.
Yeah.
One more. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
From the sunny Spanish shore, the Duke of Blazador,
And his grace is Duchess true, and his grace is daughter too.
And his grace's private drum to Venetia's shores have come, to Venetia's shores have come.
And if ever they get back to Spain, they will never cross the sea again. They will never cross the sea again.
either that grandee from the Spanish shore, the noble Duke of Blazador,
Oh, his grace is Duchess staunch and true. You may add his grace's daughter too.
For his grace's own particular drum to Venetia's shores will come, to Venetia's shores will come.
If ever they get back to Spain, they will never cross the sea again. They will never cross the sea again. They will never cross the sea again.
At last we have arrived at our destination. This is the Ducal Palace, and it is here that the Grand Inquisitor resides. As a Castilian hidalgo of 95 quarterings, I regret that I am unable to pay my state visit on a horse. As a Castilian hidalgo of that description, I should have preferred to ride through the streets of Venice, but owing, I presume, to an unusually wet season, the streets are in such a condition that equestrian exercise is impracticable. No matter. Where is our suite?
Your Grace, I am here.
Why do you not do yourself the honor to kneel when you address his grace?
My love, it is so small a matter. Still, you may as well do it.
The young man seems to entertain but an imperfect appreciation of the respect due from a menial to a Castilian hidalgo.
My child, you are hard upon our suite.
Papa, I've no patience with the presumption of persons in his plebeian position. If he does not appreciate that position, let him be whipped until he does.
Well, let us hope that the omission was not intended as a slight. I should be much hurt if I thought it was. So would he. Where are the halberdiers who were to have had the honor of meeting us here, that our visit to the Grand Inquisitor might be made in becoming state?
Your Grace, the halberdiers are mercenary people who stipulated for a trifle on account.
How tiresome. Well, let us hope that the Grand Inquisitor is a blind gentleman. And the band who were to have had the honor of escorting us, I see no band.
Your Grace, the band are sworded persons who require to be paid in advance.
That is so like a band.
Insuperable difficulties meet me at every turn.
But surely they know his grace?
Exactly. They know his Grace.
Well, let us hope that the Grand Inquisitor is a deaf gentleman. A cornet, a piston would be something. You do not happen to possess the accomplishment of tootling like a cornet à piston?
Alas, no, Your Grace. But I can imitate a farmyard.
Well, I don't see how that would help us. I don't see how we could bring it in.
It would not help in the least. We're not a parcel of graziers come to market, dolt.
Child, our sweet feelings. Be so good as to ring the bell and inform the Grand Inquisitor that His Grace the Duke of Plaza Toro, Count Matadoro, Baron Picadoro,
And sweet.
Have arrived in Venice and seek
Demand.
and demand an audience.
Your Grace has but to command.
I felt sure of it. Oh, I felt sure of it. And now, my child, shall we tell her? Yes, I think so. And now, my child, prepare for a magnificent surprise. It is my agreeable duty to reveal to you a secret which should make you the happiest young lady in Venice.
A secret? A secret which, for state reasons, it has been necessary to preserve for 20 years.
When you were a prattling babe of 6 months old, you were married by proxy to no less a personage than the infant son and heir of His Majesty, the immeasurably wealthy King of Barataria.
Married to the infant son of the King of Barataria? Was I consulted? Then it was a most unpardonable liberty.
Well, consider his extreme youth and forgive him. Shortly after the ceremony, that misguided monarch abandoned the creed of his forefathers and became a Wesleyan Methodist of the most bigoted and persecuting type. The Grand Inquisitor, determined that the innovation should not be perpetuated in Barataria, caused your smiling and unconscious husband to be stolen and conveyed to Venice. A fortnight since, the Methodist monarch and all his Wesleyan court were killed in an insurrection. And we are here to ascertain the whereabouts of your husband and to hail you, our daughter, as Her Majesty, the reigning Queen of Barataria.
Your Majesty.
It is at such moments as this that one feels how necessary it is to travel with a full band.
I the Queen of Beretaria. But I've nothing to wear. We're practically penniless.
Well, that point has not escaped me. Although I am unhappily in straitened circumstances at present, my social influence is something enormous, and a company to be called the Duke of Plaza Toro Limited is in course of formation to work me. An influential directorate has been secured, and I shall myself join the board after allotment.
Am I to understand that the Queen of Beretaria may be called upon at any time to witness her honoured sire in process of liquidation?
The speculation is not exempt from that drawback. If your father should stop, it would of course be necessary to wind him up.
Oh, but it's so undignified, it's so degrading. A grandee of Spain turned into a public company. Such a thing was never heard of.
Child, the Duke of Plaza Toro does not follow fashions, he leads them. He always leads everybody. When he was in the army, he led his regiment. He occasionally led them into action. He invariably led them out of it. In enterprise of martial kind, when there was any fighting, he led his regiment from behind, he found it less exciting. But when away his regiment ran, his place was at the fore. That celebrated, cultivated, underrated nobleman, the Duke of Plaza Toro. In the first and foremost fight, you always found that knight. That celebrated, cultivated, underrated nobleman, the Duke of Plaza Toro. When to evade destruction's hand, to hide they all proceeded. No soldier in that gallant band hid half as well as he did. He lay concealed throughout the war, and so preserved his glory. That unaffected, undetected, well-connected warrior, the Duke of Plaza Toro. In every doughty deed, he always took the lead. That unaffected, undetected, well-connected warrior, the Duke of Plaza Toro. When told that they would all be shot unless they left the service, that hero hesitated not, so marvelous his nervous. He sent his resignation in the first of all his quarrel. That very knowing, overflowing, easygoing paladin, the Duke of Plaza Toro. To men of gross acclaim, he always showed the way. That very knowing, overflowing, easygoing paladin, the Duke of Plaza Toro. That very knowing, overflowing, easygoing paladin, the Duke of Plaza Toro.
Oh, Louis, what have you said? What have I done? What have I allowed you to do?
Nothing, I trust, that you will ever have reason to repent.
Nay, Louis, it may not be. I have embraced you for the last time.
Casilda!
I have just learnt to my surprise and indignation that I was wed in babyhood to the infant son of the King of Barataria.
The son of the King of Barataria? The child that was stolen in infancy by the Inquisition?
The same. But of course you know his story.
Know his story? Why, I have often told you that my mother was the nurse to whose charge he was entrusted.
True, I had forgotten. Well, he's been discovered, and my father has brought me here to claim his hand.
But you will not recognize this marriage. It took place when you were too young to understand its import.
Nay, Louis. Respect my principles and cease to torture me with vain entreaties. Henceforth, my life is another's.
Oh, but stay. The present and the future, they are another's. But the past, that at least is ours, and none can take it from us. As we may revel in naught else, let us revel in that.
I don't think I grasp your meaning.
Yet it is logical enough. You say you ceased to love me.
I say I may not love you.
Ah, but you do not say you did not love me.
I loved you with a frenzy that words are powerless to express, and that but 10 brief minutes since.
Exactly. My own. That is until 10 minutes since my own. My lately loved, my recently adored. Tell me that until, say, a quarter of an hour ago, I was all in all to thee.
Oh, I see your idea. It's ingenious. Oh, but don't do that!
But there can be no harm in reveling in the past.
None whatever. But an embrace cannot be taken to act retrospectively.
Perhaps not. Ah, Casilda, you were to me as the sun is to the earth.
And now our love, so full of life, is but a silent, solemn memory.
Must it be so, Casilda?
Louis, it must be so.
There was a time forever gone. Ah, woe is me. It was no crime to love but thee alone. Ah, woe is me. One heart, one life, one soul, one aim, one goal. Each in the other's thrall, each in all. Ah, woe is me. Ah, woe is me. Oh, baby, baby, let the grave close. Oh, the days that were, that never will be more. Oh, baby, baby, love that all condemn, and let the world ignore its
Dead as the last year's leaves, as gathered flowers, oh, woe is me. Dead as the garnet sheaves that love of ours, oh, woe is me. Born but to fade and die when hope was high. Dead as high as yesterday. Oh, woe is me.
my child, allow me to present His Distinction Don Alhambra del Bolero, the Grand Inquisitor of Spain. It was his distinction who so thoughtfully abstracted your infant husband and brought him to Venice.
So, this is the little lady who is so unexpectedly called upon to assume the functions of royalty. And a very nice little lady, too.
Jimp, isn't she?
Distinctly jimp. Allow me. Naughty temper.
You must make some allowance. Her Majesty's head is a little turned by her access of dignity.
I could have wished that Her Majesty's access of dignity had turned it in this direction.
Unfortunately, if I'm not mistaken, there appears to be some little doubt as to His Majesty's whereabouts.
A doubt as to his whereabouts. Then we may yet be saved.
A doubt? Oh dear, no. No doubt at all. He is here in Venice, plying the modest but picturesque calling of a gondolier. I can give you his address. I see him every day. In the entire annals of our history, there is absolutely no circumstance so entirely free from all manner of doubt of any kind whatever. Listen, and I'll tell you all about it. I stole the prince and I brought him here and left him gaily prattling with a highly respectable gondolier who promised the royal babe to rear and teach him the trade of a time on ear with his own beloved Bratling. Both of the babes were strong and stout, and considering all things clever. Of that there is no manner of doubt, no probable possible shadow of doubt, no possible doubt whatever.
No possible doubt whatever.
But owing I'm much disposed to fear to his terrible taste for tippling, that highly respectable gondolier could never declare with a mind sincere which of the two was his offspring dear, and which the royal stripling. Which was which he could never make out, despite his best endeavor. Of that there is no manner of doubt, no probable possible shadow of doubt, no possible doubt whatever.
No possible doubt whatever.
Time sped, and when at the end of a year I sought that infant cherished, that highly respectable gondolier was lying a corpse on his humble bier, I dropped a Grand Inquisitor's tear. That gondolier had perished. A taste for drink combined with gout had doubled him up forever. Of that there is no manner of doubt, no probable possible shadow of doubt, no possible doubt whatever.
No possible doubt whatever.
The children followed his old career. This statement can't be parried. Of a highly respectable gondolier, well, one of the two who will soon be here. But which of the two, it is not quite clear, is the royal prince you married. Search in and out and round about, and you'll discover never a tale so free from every doubt, or probable possible shadow of doubt, or possible doubt whatever.
A tale so free from every doubt, or probable possible shadow of doubt, or possible doubt whatever.
To say that I am married to one of two gondoliers, but it is impossible to say which.
Without any doubt of any kind whatever. But be reassured, the nurse to whom your husband was entrusted is the mother of the musical young man who is such a past master of that delicately modulated instrument. She can, no doubt, establish the king's identity beyond all question.
Heavens! How did you know that?
My young friend, a Grand Inquisitor is always up to date. His mother is at present the wife of a highly respectable and old-established brigand who carries on an extensive practice in the mountains around Cordova. Oh. Accompanied by 2 of my emissaries, he will set off at once for his mother's address. She will return with them. And if she finds any difficulty in making up her mind, the persuasive influence of the torture chamber will jog her memory.
But bless my heart, consider my position. I am the wife of one. That's very clear. But who can tell, except by intuition, which is the prince and which the gondolier?
Submit to fate without unseemly wrangle. Such complications frequently occur. Life is one closely complicated tangle. Death is the only true unraveler. Try we lifelong, we can never straighten out life's tangled skein. Why should we in vain endeavor guess and guess and guess again? Life's a pudding full of plums.
Tis a canker that benumbs.
Life's a pudding full of plums. Tis a canker that benumbs. Wherefore waste our elocution on impossible solution? Life's a pleasant institution. Let us take it as it comes. Let us take it as it comes. Set aside the dull enigma, we shall guess it all too soon. Failure brings no kind of sting, but doubts seem to us doubt us moon. Sting the life as a cup, lest one sorrow should stop. String the life in the cup, lest one sorrow we should stop. Hope and seek to fancy's middle, hands across and down the middle. Lies perhaps the only riddle that we shrink from giving up. Lies perhaps the only riddle that we shrink from giving up. Then take it as it comes, take it as it comes. Sing the life in the cup, there's one sorrow we should stop. Take life as it comes.
When a merry maiden marries, sorrow goes and pleasure tarries. Every song becomes a song. All is right and nothing's wrong. From today and ever after, let our tears be tears of laughter. Every sigh that finds a vent be a sigh of sweet content. When you marry, marry hath gone. Sunlight takes the place of shade. When you marry, 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 marry.
Are going to begin in real earnest. What's a bachelor? A mere nothing. He's a chrysalis. He can't be said to live. He exists.
What a delightful institution marriage is. Why have we wasted all this time? Why didn't we marry 10 years ago?
Because you couldn't find anybody nice enough.
Well, because you were waiting for us.
I suppose that was the reason. We were waiting for you, without knowing it. Hello?
Good morning. If this gentleman is an undertaker, it's a bad omen. A ceremony of some sort going on. He is an undertaker. Oh, no, a little unimportant family gathering. Nothing in your line. Somebody's birthday, I suppose.
Yes, mine.
And mine.
And mine. And mine. Curious coincidence. And how old may you all be?
It's a rude question, but about 10 minutes.
Remarkably fine children. But surely you are jesting.
In other words, we were married about 10 minutes since.
Married? You don't mean to say you are married?
Oh, yes, we are married.
What? Both of you?
All four of us.
Bless my heart, how extremely awkward.
Well, you don't mind, I suppose.
You were not thinking of either of us for yourself, I presume. Oh, Giuseppe, look at him. He's heartbroken.
No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. Ah, my man. We don't want anything in your line, and if your curiosity's satisfied, you can go. You mustn't call me your man. It's a liberty. I don't think you know who I am. Not we, indeed. We are jolly gondoliers, the sons of Baptista Palmieri, who led the last revolution. Republicans, heart and soul, we hold all men to be equal.
As we abhor oppression, we abhor kings.
As we detest vainglory, we detest rank.
As we despise effeminacy, we despise wealth.
We are Venetian gondoliers, your equals in everything except our calling.
And in that, at once your masters and your servants.
Bless my heart, how unfortunate. One of you may be Baptisto's son, for anything I know to the contrary, but the other is no less a personage than the only son of the late king of Barataria.
What?
And I trust it was that one who slapped me on the shoulder and called me his man.
But which is it?
What does it matter? As you are both Republicans and hold kings in detestation, of course you will abdicate at once. Good morning.
Well, as to that, there are kings and kings. When I say I detest kings, I mean I detest, bad kings.
I see. It's a delicate distinction.
Quite so. And now I can conceive of a kind of king. An ideal king, a creature of my fancy, you know, who would be absolutely unobjectionable. A king, for instance, who would abolish taxes and make everything cheap. Except gondolas.
And give a great many free entertainments to the gondoliers.
And let off fireworks on the Grand Canal. And engage all the gondolas for the occasion.
And scramble money on the Rio Toll among the gondoliers.
Such a king would be a blessing to his people. And if I were king, that's the kind of king I would be.
And so would I.
Come, I'm glad to find your objections are not insuperable.
Oh, they're not insuperable.
No, they're not insuperable.
Besides, we are open to conviction.
Yes, they are open to conviction.
Oh, they've often been convicted.
Our views may have been hastily formed on insufficient grounds. They may be crude, ill-digested, erroneous. I have a very poor opinion of the politician who's not open to conviction.
Oh, he's a fine fellow.
Yes, that's the sort of politician for my money.
Then we'll consider it settled. Now, as the country is in a state of insurrection, it is absolutely necessary that you should assume the reins of government at once. And until it is ascertained which of you is to be king, I have arranged that you will reign jointly, so that no question can arise hereafter as to the validity of any of your acts.
As one individual.
As one individual.
Like this?
Something like that.
And we may take our friends with us and give them places about the court.
Undoubtedly. That's always done.
Well, I'm convinced.
So am I.
And the sooner we're off, the better.
Yes, we'll just run home and pack up a few things.
Stop! That won't do at all. Ladies are not admitted.
What?
Not admitted. Not at present. Afterwards, perhaps we'll see.
Why, you don't mean to say you're going to separate us from our wives?
Oh, this is very awkward. Only for a time, a few months. After all, what is a few months?
But we've only been married half an hour. Kind sir, you cannot have the heart alive to part from those to whom an hour ago we were united. Before our flowing hopes you stammer, look at them and pause before you deal this blow all uninvited. You men can never understand that heart and hand cannot be separated when we go a-yearning. You see only women's eyes, tight eyes, and only women's thoughts for men to set in your burning. Some kind of charm you seem to find in womankind, some source of unexplained delight, unless you're jesting. But what attracts you, I confess, I cannot guess. To me, a woman's face is quite uninteresting. If from my sister I were torn, it could be borne. I would no doubt be horrified, but I could bear it. shall ever shed it. You men will never understand that woman's heart is one with woman's
Do not give way to this uncalled for grief. Your separation will be very brief. To ascertain which is the king and which the other, to Barataria's court I'll bring his foster mother. Her former nursling to declare she'll be delighted. That settled, let each happy pair be reunited.
Viva! His argument is strong. Viva! Will not be parted long. Viva! It will be settled soon. Viva! Then comes our honeymoon. Viva! 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 Then one of us will be a queen and sit on a golden throne, with a crown instead of a hat on her head and diamonds all her own, with a beautiful robe of golden green. I've always understood. I wonder whether she'd wear a feather. I rather think she should. Oh, it is a glorious thing, I mean, to be a regular royal queen. No half and half affair, I mean no half and half affair, but like a regular royal queen.
She'll drive about in a carriage and pair with the king on her left-hand side, and a milk-white horse as a matter of course whenever she wants to ride, with beautiful silver shoes to wear upon her dainty feet, with endless stocks of beautiful frocks and as much as she wants to eat. Oh,
It's a glorious thing, I mean, to be a regular royal queen. No half and half affair, I mean no half and half affair,
but like a regular royal queen.
whenever she condescends, you won't be sure she'll shine at that, with a haughty stare and a nose in the air like a well-born aristocrat. At elegant high society talk, she'll bear away the bell, with her howdy-do and her how are you, and I trust I see you well. Oh, it is a glorious thing, I mean, to be a regular royal queen. No half and half affair, I mean no half and half affair, but like a regular royal queen.
And noble lords will scrape and bow and double themselves in two, and open their eyes in blind surprise at whatever she likes to do. And everybody will roundly vow she's fair as flowers in May, and say, how clever, at whatsoever she condescends to say.
Oh, 'tis a glorious thing, I mean, to be a regular royal queen. No half and half affair, I mean no half and half affair, but like a regular royal queen. Oh, 'tis a glorious thing, I mean, to be a regular royal queen. Right down, regular royal
Replying we sing as one individual,
as I
find I'm a
king to my
kingdom, I
bid you all I know.
where you object
To
pavilions and
palaces, but you'll
find I respect
respect your
Republican
palaces, you'll
find I respect
respect your
Republican
palaces.
As they know we object to pavilions and palaces, how can they respect our republican palaces?
For everyone who feels inclined some post we undertake to find congenial with his frame of mind, and all shall equal be.
The Chancellor and his Baruch, the Earl, the Marquis and the Duke, the Groom, the Butler and the Cook, they all shall equal be.
The aristocrat who banks with goods, the aristocrat who hunts and shoots, the aristocrat who cleans our boots, they all shall equal be.
The noble lord who rules the state, the noble lord who cleans the plate,
The noble lord who scrubs the grate, they all shall equal be.
the Lord High Bishop, orthodox, the Lord High Coachman on the box,
The Lord High Vagabond in the stocks, they all shall equal be. For everyone who feels inclined some post we undertake to find congenial with his frame of mind, congenial with his frame of mind, and all shall equal be. Sing high, sing low, wherever they go. Sing high, sing low, wherever they go. Wherever they go, wherever they go, they all shall equal be.
Sing high, sing low, wherever they go. Sing high, sing low, wherever they go. Wherever they go, they all shall equal be. The elder one was like the Christian road, the one that had the proof, the aristocrat who bends the roof, the aristocrat who rules the roof, the noble lord who rules the roof, the noble lord who sweats the roof, the noble nation overrules the roof. For everyone who feels inclined some post they undertake to find congenial with his frame of mind, congenial with his frame of mind, and all shall equal be. Then hail, O King, whichever you may be, to you we sing unto
Hamlet's away, a Highland crown awaits me. Conflicting feelings rend my soul apart. The thought of royal dignity elates me. But leaving thee behind me breaks my heart.
Farewell, my love, on board you must be getting. But while upon the sea you gaily roam, remember that a heart for thee is fretting. The tender little heart you've left at No more good ever wishes him while you're away. It's understood you will be good and not too gay. To every trace of maiden grace you will be blind, and will not glance by any chance on womankind. If you are wise, shut your eyes till we arrive, and not address a lady less than 45. You'll please to frown on every gown that you may see. Oh no, my pet, you won't forget you've married me. And oh my darling, oh my pet, whatever else you may forget, in yonder I'll be on the sea. Do not forget, do not forget. fall on the lagoon. You'll be so kind as tell the wind how you may be, and send me word, my little birds, to comfort me. And oh, my darling, oh, my pet, whatever else you may forget, in yonder isle beyond the sea, do not forget you've married me.
community, whom you can order right and left with absolute impunity, who put their subjects at their ease by doing all we can to please. And thus to earn the bread and cheese is every opportunity. And thus to earn the bread and cheese is every opportunity. Yet in perfect unity. Yet in perfect unity. Of happiness the very kiss inherent you receive, a monarchy that's tempered with republican equality, republican equality, tempered with equality.
Gentlemen, we are much obliged to you for these expressions of satisfaction and good feeling. I say we are much obliged to you for these expressions of satisfaction and good feeling.
We heard you.
We are delighted at any time to fall in with sentiments so charmingly expressed.
That's all right. At the same time, there is just one little grievance that we should like to ventilate. What? Don't be alarmed. It's not serious. It is decided that, until it is agreed which of us two is the actual king, that we are to act as one person.
Exactly.
Now, although we act as one person, we are, in point of fact, two persons.
I don't think we can go into that. It is a legal fiction, and legal fictions are solemn things. Situated as we are, we can't recognize two independent responsibilities.
No, but you can recognize two independent appetites. It's all very well and good to say that we act as one person, but when you only supply us with one ration between us, I should describe it as a legal fiction carried a little too far.
It's rather a nice point. I don't like to express an opinion offhand. Suppose we reserve it for argument before the full court?
Yes, but what are we to do in the meantime? We want our tea!
I think we may make an interim order for double rations on their majesties entering into the usual undertaking to indemnify in the case of an adverse decision.
That, I think, will meet the case. But you must work hard. Stick to it. Nothing like work.
Oh, certainly. We quite understand that a man who holds the magnificent position of king ought to do something to justify it. The least we can do is to make ourselves useful about the palace. Rising early in the morning, we proceed to light the fire. Then our majesty adorning in its work-a-day attire, we embark without delay on the duties of the day. First we polish off some batches of political dispatches and foreign politicians circumvent. Then if business isn't heavy, we may hold a royal levy or ratify some acts of parliament. Then we'll probably review the House of Troops with the usual shallow-ups and shallow-oops, or receive with ceremonial and state an interesting Eastern potentate. After that we generally go and dress our private valley. It's a rather nervous duty, he's a touchy little man. Write some letters literary for our private secretary. He is shaky in his spelling, so we help him if we can. Then in view of craving dinner, we go down and order dinner. Then we'll polish the regalia and the coronation plate. Spend an hour in titivating all our gentlemen in waiting, or we run on little errands for our ministers of state. Oh, philosophers may sing of the troubles of a king, yet the duties are delightful and the privilege is great. But the privilege and pleasure that we treasure beyond measure is to run on little errands for our ministers of state. Oh, philosophers may sing of the troubles of a king, yet the duties are delightful and the privilege is great. But the privilege and pleasure that we treasure beyond measure is to run on little errands for our ministers of state. Our After luncheon, making merry on a bun and glass of sherry, if we've nothing in particular to do. We may make a proclamation or receive a deputation, then we'll possibly create a peer or two. And then we'll help a fellow creature on his path. We can barter or the thistle or the path. Or we'll dress and toddle off in semi-state to a festival, a function, or a fete. Then we'll go and stand a sentry at the palace private entry, marching hither, marching thither, up and down and to and fro, whilst the warrior on duty goes in search of peer and beauty, and it generally happens that he hasn't far to go. Even leads us, if he's able, just in time to lay the table. Then we dine and serve the coffee, and at 12:01, with a pleasure that's emphatic, we retire to our attic with the gratifying feeling that our duty has been done. Oh, philosophers may sing of the troubles of a king, yet of pleasures there are many, and of worries there are none. And the culminating pleasure that we treasure beyond measure is the gratifying feeling that our duty has been done.
Oh, philosophers may sing of the troubles of the king, yet of pleasures there are many, and of worries there are none. And the culminating pleasure that we treasure beyond measure is the gratifying feeling that our duty has been done.
Yes, it really is a very pleasant existence. They're also singularly kind and considerate. You don't find them wanting to do this or wanting to do that or saying it's my turn now. No, they let us have all the fun and they never seem to grudge it.
It makes one feel quite selfish. It almost seems like we're taking advantage of their good nature.
How nice they were about the double rations.
Most considerate. There's only one thing wanting to make us thoroughly comfortable.
And that is?
The dear little wives we left behind us 3 months ago.
Ah, yes. It is dull without female society. We can do without anything else, but we can't do without that.
And if we have that in perfection, we have everything. There's only one recipe for perfect happiness. Take a pair of sparkling eyes, hidden ever and unknown in a merciful eclipse. Do not heed them mild surprise, having passed the Rubicon. Take a pair of rosy lips. Take a figure trimly planned, such as admiration weds. Be particular in this. Take a tender little hand, fringed with dainty fingerets. Press it, in parenthesis. Take all these, you lucky man. Take and keep them if you can. If you can. Take all these, you lucky man. Take and keep them if you can. If you can. Take a pretty little cot, quite a miniature affair, hung about with trellised vine. Furnish it upon the spot with the treasures rich and rare I've endeavored to define. Live to love and love to live, you will ripen at your ease, growing on the sunny side. Fate has nothing more to give. You're a dainty man to please. If you're not satisfied, take my counsel, happy man. Act upon it if you can. If you can, take my counsel, happy one so happy man. Act upon it if you can, if you can, if you can. Act upon it if you can, happy man, if you
Existence was slow and we wanted variety. Existence was slow and we wanted variety. Yes, we wanted variety. So here we are at the risk of our lives, and we brought your boys to the den, because the day that we go to return again.
Tessa!
Giuseppe, Marco, sailing to this island, tossing in a man of fright. We are all once more on dry land,
And we find the change delightful.
as at home we've been remaining. We've not seen you both for ages.
Tell me, are you fond of reigning? How's the fort and what's the wages?
Does your new employment please you?
How does royalizing strike
Is
you?
it difficult or easy?
Do you think your subjects like you?
I am anxious to elicit. Is it plain and is it still?
Take it all together, is it better fun than gondoliering?
We shall both go on requesting till you tell us never doubt it. Everything is interesting. Tell us all about it. We will both go on requesting till you tell us never doubt it. Everything is interesting. Tell us all about it. Is the populace exacting?
Do they keep you at a distance?
All needed are you acting?
Or do they provide assistance?
When you're busy, have you got to get up early in the morning?
If you do what you ought not to, do they give the usual warning?
With a horse do they equip you?
Lots of trumpeting and
Do
drumming.
the royal tradesmen tip you?
Ain't the livery becoming?
Does your human being in a feed on everything that nice is?
Do they give you wine for dinner, peaches, sugar plums and ices?
We shall both go on requesting till you tell us never doubt it. Everything is interesting.
Tell us all about it.
We will both go on requesting till you tell us never doubt it. Everything is interesting. Tell us all about it. We shall both go on requesting till you tell us never doubt it. Everything is interesting. Tell us all about it. Everything is interesting. Tell us all about it.
This is indeed a most delightful surprise.
Yes, we thought you'd like it. You see, it was like this. After you left, we felt very dull and mopey, and the days crawled by, and you never wrote. So at last I said to Janetta, I can't stand this any longer. Those two poor monarchs haven't got anyone to mend their stockings or sew on their buttons or patch their clothes. At least, I hope they haven't. Let us all pack up a change and go and see how they're getting on. And she said, done, and they all said, done, and we asked old Jacopo to lend us his boat. And he said, done, and we've crossed the sea. Oh, and thank goodness that's done. And here we are, and oh, I've done.
And now, which of you is king?
And which of us is queen?
That we shan't know until nurse turns up. But never mind that. The question is now, how shall we celebrate the commencement of our honeymoon? Gentlemen, will you allow us to offer you a magnificent banquet?
We will!
And ladies, what do you say to a dance?
A banquet and a dance. Oh, it's too much
Good evening! Fancy ball? No, just a little friendly dance, that's all. Sorry you're late. Yeah, but I saw a groom dancing and a footman.
Yes, that's the Lord High Footman.
And, dear me, a common little drummer boy. Oh, no. That's the Lord High Drummer Boy. But surely the servants' hall is the place for these gentry. Oh, dear no. We have appropriated the servants' hall. It's the royal apartments, and accessible only by tickets obtainable at the Lord Chamberlain's office.
We really must have some place we can call our own.
I'm afraid I'm not quite equal to the intellectual pressure of the conversation. You see, the monarchy has been remodeled on Republican principles. What? All departments rank equally, and everybody is at the head of his department. I see.
I'm afraid you're annoyed.
You know, I won't say that. It's not quite what I expected. I'm awfully sorry.
So am I.
By the by, can I offer you anything after your voyage? A plate of macaroni and a rusk. No, nothing. Obliged to be careful. Yes. Gout. You see, in every court there are distinctions that must be observed. There are there? Why, of course. For instance, you wouldn't have a Lord High Chancellor play leapfrog with his own cook.
Why not?
Why not? Because a Lord High Chancellor is a personage of great dignity who should never, under any circumstances, place himself in the position of being told to tuck in his tuppenny, except by noblemen of his own rank. A Lord High Archbishop, for instance, might tell a Lord High Chancellor to tuck in his tuppenny, but certainly not a cook, gentlemen. Certainly not a cook. Not even a Lord High Cook? Oh, my good friend, that is a rank that is not recognized at the Lord Chamberlain's office. No, it won't do. I'll give you an instance in which the experiment was tried. There lived a king, as I've been told, in the wonder-working days of old, when hearts were twice as good as gold, and 20 times as mellow.
good temper triumphed in his face, and in his heart he found a place for all the erring human race, and every wretched fellow. When he had a Rhenish wine to drink, it made him very sad to think that some that junket or that jink must be content with toddy. With toddy, must be content with toddy. He wished all men as rich as he, and he was rich as rich could be. So to the top of every tree promoted everybody.
Now that's the kind of king for me. He wished all men as rich as he. So to the top of every tree promoted everybody.
Lord Chancellors were cheap as sprats, and bishops in their sharple hats were plentiful as tabby cats. In point of fact, too many. Ambassadors cropped up like hay, prime ministers and such as they grew like asparagus in May, and dukes were 3 a penny. On every side field marshals, king, small beer, were lords lieutenant deemed. With admirals the ocean teemed all round his wide dominions.
With admirals around his wide dominions.
And the party leaders you might meet in 2s and 3s in every street, maintaining with no little heat their various opinions.
Now that's a sight you couldn't meet, 2 party leaders in the street, maintaining with no little heat their various opinions.
That king, although no one denies, his heart was of abnormal size, yet he'd have acted otherwise if he had been a cuter. The end is easily foretold when every blessed thing you hold is made of silver or of gold. You long for simple pewter when you have nothing else to wear but cloth of gold and satins rare. For cloth of gold you cease to care. Up goes the price of shoddy.
Of shoddy, up goes the price of shoddy.
In short, whoever you may be, to this conclusion you'll agree. When everyone is somebody, then no one's anybody.
Now that's as plain can be. To this conclusion we agree. When everyone is somebody, then no one's anybody.
Some important news to communicate. His Grace the Duke of Plaza Toro, Her Grace the Duchess, and their beautiful daughter Casilda. I say, their beautiful daughter Casilda.
We heard you.
Have arrived at Barataria and may be here at any moment.
The Duke and Duchess are nothing to us.
But the daughter, the beautiful daughter. Oh, you're a lucky dog, one of you!
I think you're a very incomprehensible old gentleman.
Not a bit. I'll explain. Many years ago, when you, whichever you are, were a baby, you, whichever you are, were married to a little girl who has grown up to be the most beautiful young lady in Spain. That beautiful young lady will be here to claim you, whichever you are, in half an hour. And I congratulate that one, whichever it is, with all my heart.
Married when a baby?
But we were married 3 months ago.
One of you, only one. The other, whichever it is an unintentional bigamist.
Well, upon my word.
Oh, who are these young people?
Who are we? Why, they're wives, of course. We've just arrived.
Their wives? Oh dear, this is very unfortunate. Oh dear, this complicates matters.
dear, dear, what will Her Majesty say?
And do you mean to say that one of these monarchs was already married?
And that neither of us will be a queen?
That is the idea I intended to convey.
Oh,
Tessa, my dear, dear
get
child!
away! Perhaps it's you!
My poor, poor little woman!
Don't! Who knows whose husband you are?
And pray, why didn't you tell us all about it before they left Venice?
Because if I had, no earthly temptation would have induced these gentlemen to leave two such extremely fascinating and utterly irresistible little ladies.
There's something in that.
I may mention that you will not be kept long in suspense, as the old lady who nursed the royal child is at present in the torture chamber waiting for me to interview her.
Poor old girl, hadn't you better go and put her out of her suspense?
No, there's no hurry. She's all right. She has all the illustrated papers. However, I'll go and interrogate her. And in the meantime, may I suggest the absolute propriety of your regarding yourselves as a single young ladies. Good evening.
Well, here's a pleasant state of things.
Delightful. One of us is married to two young ladies, nobody knows which, and the other is married to one young lady who nobody can identify.
And one of us is married to one of you, and the other is married to nobody.
But which of you is married to which of us? And what's to become of the other?
It's quite simple. Observe. Two husbands have managed to acquire 3 wives, and that's 3 wives, 2 husbands. Why, that's 2/3 of a husband to each wife.
Oh, Mount Vesuvius, here we are in arithmetic. My good sir, one can't marry a vulgar fraction.
You have no right to call me a vulgar fraction!
We are getting rather mixed. The situation is entangled. Let's try and comb it out. In a contemplative fashion, and a tranquil frame of mind, free from every kind of passion, some solution let us find. Let us grasp the situation, solve the complicated plot. Quiet, calm deliberation disentangles every knot.
I know that Giuseppe went in advance, of course, a slice of luck. He is rather underfed, still distinctly he's a duck. I'll make him tough, no Marco Marie, that is clear. He's particularly strong, he's a dare.
Jeanette, I was mated, I can prove it in a trice. Though her charms are overrated, still I own she's rather nice.
Say to Tessa, really, all at once a victim fell. She is what is called a silly, still she answers pretty well. She's a silly, still she answers pretty well.
Now when we were pretty babies, someone married us, that's clear.
And if I can catch her, I'll pinch her and snatch her and send her away with a fillet.
Oh, that young lady married to the sea, I can't refuse.
I overtake, I want it, I make her to shake in honest gratitude. If she married to Giuseppe, and he will have to part. If I have to do it, I want it to do it. I'll teach her to marry the man of my heart. If she's married Reservoir, for you're a spinster, so much I won't mind her if I can get her to read out if my mother will know her again. If I have to do it,
Jeanette, I can face it, I can believe in it. I see no chance for all the greatest things.
attention touches heart of duke.
And a heart of duchess who resign met.
With profound regret.
She of beauty was a model.
When a tiny tiddle toddle, and at 21.
She's excelled by none.
At 21.
She's excelled by none. At 21.
She's excelled by none. She comes to claim the royal hand. Proclaim that graces will be double kisses on the king who rules this worldly land. In days of God's man. Be good enough to inform His Majesty that His Grace, the Duke of Plaza Toro Limited, has arrived and begs...
Desires.
Demands.
And demands an audience. Thank you. And now, my child, prepare to receive the husband to whom you were united under such interesting and romantic circumstances.
But which is it? There are two of them.
Well, it is true that at present His Majesty is a double gentleman, but as soon as the circumstances of his marriage are ascertained, he will ipso facto boil down to a single gentleman, thus presenting a unique example of an individual who becomes a single man and a married man by the same operation.
I have known instances in which the characteristics of both conditions existed concurrently in the same individual.
But he couldn't have been a Plaza Toro.
Oh, couldn't he, though?
Well, whatever happens, I shall, of course, be a dutiful wife. But I can never love my husband.
Oh, I don't know. It's extraordinary what unprepossessing people one can love if one gives one's mind to it.
I loved your father.
My love? That remark was a little hard, I think. Rather cruel, perhaps. Somewhat uncalled for, I venture to believe.
Finished? It was very difficult, my dear, but I said to myself, that man is a duke and I will love him. Several of my relations bet me I couldn't, but I did, desperately. On the day when I was wedded to your admirable sire, I acknowledge that I dreaded an explosion of his ire. I was overcome with panic, for his temper was volcanic, and I didn't dare revolt, for I feared a thunderbolt. I was always very wary, for his fury was ecstatic, his refined vocabulary most unpleasantly emphatic. To the thunder of this Tartar I knocked under like a martyr. When intently he was fuming, I was gently unassuming. When reviling me completely, I was smiling very sweetly. I was smiling very sweetly, very sweetly. Giving him the very best and getting back the very worst. That is how I tried to tame your great progenitor at first. Giving him the very best and getting back the very worst. That is how I tried to tame your great progenitor at first. But I found that a reliance on my threatening appearance, and a resolute defiance of marital interference, and a gentle intimation of my firm determination to see what I could do, to be wife and husband too, was the only thing required for to make his temper supple, and you couldn't have desired a more reciprocating couple, ever willing to be wooing. We were billing, we were cooing. When I merely from him parted, we were nearly broken-hearted. When in sequel reunited, we were equally delighted.
We were equally delighted. So with double-shotted guns and colours nailed unto the mast, I tamed your insignificant progeny to repast. So with double-shotted guns and colours nailed unto the mast, I tamed your insignificant progeny
My only hope is that when my husband sees what a shady family he has married into, he will repudiate the contract altogether.
Shady? A nobleman shady who is blazing in the lustre of unaccustomed pocket money? A nobleman shady who can look back upon 95 quarterings? It is not every nobleman who is 95 quarters in arrear. I mean, who can look back on 95 of them. And this, just as I have been saluted at a premium. Oh, fie.
Your Majesty is surely unaware that directly Your Majesty's father came before the public, he was applied for over and over again.
My dear, Her Majesty's father was in the habit of being applied for over and over again, and very urgently applied for, too. Long before he was registered under the Limited Liability Act. To help unhappy commoners and add to their enjoyment, affords a man of noble rank congenial employment. Of our attempts we offer you examples illustrative. The work is light and, I may add, it's most remunerative. Small titles and orders for mayors and recorders I get, and they're highly delighted.
They're highly delighted.
MPs unrewarding that one paddle boarding, I've seen to it that wrong is righted.
That wrong is righted.
Extinction Rebellion, I find it Orwellian. Must we have more loft insulation?
More loft insulation.
Those charity dinners are lobbying winners. So much financial compensation.
So much compensation. I present any lady whose conduct is shady or smacking of doubtful propriety.
A doubtful propriety.
When virtue would quash her, I take and whitewash her and launch her in first-rate society.
First-rate society.
I recommend acres of clumsy dressmakers, their fit and their finishing touches.
Their finishing touches.
A sum in addition, they pay for permission to say that they make for the Duchess.
They make for the Duchess. I like to give lip, as in prenez un grip, or donnez-moi un break you froggy.
Un break you froggy.
I appoint all my cronies, they're most of them phonies, but I have a soft spot for Rees-Moggy.
For Jacob Rees-Moggy.
I change my selection, also my direction, with U-turns and comings and goings.
Comings and goings.
My redecoration was Carrie's creation, but someone else paid what was owing.
Paid what was owing. At a middle-class party I play at écarté, and I'm by no means a beginner.
She's not a beginner.
To one of my station, the remuneration, 5 guineas a night and my dinner.
And wine with her dinner.
I write letters blatant on medicines patent, and use any other you mustn't.
Dear, leave me, you mustn't.
And vow my complexion derives its perfection from somebody's soap, which it doesn't.
It certainly doesn't. We are ready as witness to anyone's fitness to fill any place or preferment.
A place or preferment. We're often in waiting at junket or fating, and sometimes attend an interment.
We enjoy an interment. In short, you kindle the spark of a swindle. Your swindle into your clutches, yes, into your clutches. Or hoodwink a debtor, you cannot do better
than trot out a duke or a duchess.
A duke or a duchess. Your Majesty.
The Duke of Plaza Toro, I believe.
The same. May I present...
the young lady that one of us married.
Gentlemen, I am the most obedient servant of one of you. Oh, Louis.
I'm now about to address myself to the gentleman my daughter married. The other may allow his attention to wander if he likes, and what I'm about to say does not concern him. Sir, you will find in this young lady a combination of excellences which you would search for in vain in any young lady who had not the good fortune to be my daughter. Oh, there's still some doubt as to which of you is the gentleman I'm addressing and which is the gentleman who is allowing his attention to wander, but when that doubt is solved, I shall say, still addressing the attentive gentleman, take her, and may she make you happier than her mother has made me.
Sir!
If possible. Now, I think that is a little matter to which I am entitled to take exception. I come here in state with Her Grace the Duchess and Her Majesty my daughter, and what do I find? Do I find, for instance, a guard of honor to receive me? No.
No.
The town illuminated? No.
No.
Refreshment provided? No.
No.
The royal salute fire? No.
No.
Triumphal arches erected? No.
No.
The bells set ringing?
No.
Yes, one, the visitors, and I rang it myself. It is not enough. It is not enough.
I'm awfully sorry, but you see, I was brought up in a gondola, and my ideas of politeness are confined to taking off my cap to my passengers when they tip me.
That is all very well in its way, but it is not enough.
I'll take off anything else in reason.
But a royal salute to my daughter. It costs so little.
Papa, I don't want a salute.
My good sir, as soon as we know which of us is entitled to take that privilege, she shall have as many salutes as she likes.
As for guards of honor, triumphal arches, you don't know our people. They wouldn't stand it.
They're very offhand with us. Very offhand indeed.
No, you mustn't allow that. You must keep them in proper discipline. You must impress your court with your importance. You want deportment to carry.
We've got a carriage.
Manner. Dignity. There must be a good deal of this sort of thing, and a little of this sort of thing, and maybe just a soupçon of this sort of thing, and so on. Oh, it's very useful and most effective. Just attend to me. You are a king. I am a subject. Very good. Yes, good. I am a courtier grave and serious who is about to kiss your hand. Try to combine opposing imperious with a demeanor nobly bland.
Let us combine opposing imperious with a demeanor nobly bland.
That, if anything, too unbending, too aggressively stiff and grand. Now to the other extreme you're tending. Don't be seducedly condescending.
Now to the other extreme you're tending. Don't be so dreadfully condescending.
Okay.
Oh, heartily some noblemen see, at first if anything to us lending, or we go to
jug of what performs sedately. Offer your hand with conscious pride. Take an attitude not too stately, still sufficiently dignified.
Now for an attitude not too stately, still sufficiently dignified.
Oncely, twicely, oncely, twicely, how impressively ere you glide. Campbell, you've got it nicely. That is the style of thing precisely.
That is the style of thing precisely.
Oh, sweet one, a nobleman's praise. Capital both, we caught it nicely. Supposing he's right in what he says, this is the style of thing precisely.
Oh, swap partners, come on. Oh, good luck, this is oncely, twicely. And half away. Yes. Yeah. This lady's for turning.
The old birds have gone away and left us young chickens alone. That's called tact.
It's very awkward. We really ought to tell her how we're situated. It's not fair to the girl.
Oh, why don't you do it?
I'd rather not. You?
Well, I wouldn't know where to begin. Madame, that is to say, several of us...
Gentlemen, I am bound to listen to you. But it is right to tell you that, not knowing I was married in infancy, I am over head and ears in love with somebody else.
Our case exactly. We are over head and ears in love with somebody else. In point of fact, our wives.
Your wives? Then you're married?
It's not our fault.
Oh, we knew nothing about it.
We are sisters in misfortune.
Oh, my good girls, I don't blame you. Only before we go any further, we must really arrive at some satisfactory arrangement, or we shall get hopelessly complicated.
Here is a case unprecedented. Here are a king and queen is not. Ever since marriage was first invented, never was known a case so hard.
I may be said to have been bisected by a profound catastrophe.
Through a calamity unexpected, I am divisible into three.
I may be said to have been bisected.
I am divisible into three. Through a calamity, I am divisible into three.
Oh, morally so, how can you call marriage a state of unity when excellent husbands are bisected, wives are divisible into three? Oh, morally so, how can you call marriage a state of unity? Oh, unity! Morally so, how can you call marriage a state of unity? Morally so, how can you call marriage a state of unity? Marriage a state of union true. Apart from myself as married to God again. Oh,
Let the loyal lieges gather round. The prince's foster mother has been found. She will declare to silver clarion sound the rightful king. Let him forthwith be crowned. She will declare
We're all attention.
Yours we sit, movement mention, to slavery.
His foster mother,
Is he the king?
or is my brother?
Speak, woman, speak! Speak, woman, speak!
The royal prince was by the king entrusted to my fond care, ere I grew old and crusted. When traitors came to steal his son reputed, my own small boy I deftly substituted. The villains fell into the trap completely. I hid the prince away, still sleeping sweetly. I called him son with pardonable slyness. His name, Louis. Behold his royal highness.
Louis!
Casilda!
Is this the king? Oh, wondrous revelation! Oh, what is everything unlawful situation? This statement we receive, with sentiments conflicting, our hearts rejoice and grieve, each other contradicting, to those whom we adore, we can be united. On one point or other stop, but on the whole, delighted.
When others claimed thy dainty hand, I waited, waited, waited.
As prudent, so I understand, dictated, tated.
By virtue of all recorded, your pure and patient love is now rewarded, warded.
Then hail we on land, and the high on raise his hand, the first is then,
Thank you.